Hey guys, and welcome back. For today's build, I'll be doing another realistic Pokemon project. This time, I decided to go with Muck. Now, this guy is one of the original 151 Pokemon. Essentially, he's a giant pile of slime with eyes and a mouth. So it might be a little bit tricky to make a live action version actually look good, but all the same, I'm gonna give it my best shot. Now, if you're a Pokemon fan, I have another video where I created the creepiest realistic version of Tangela that I possibly could. If you haven't seen that, there's a link to that video in the description below. I started things off by crumpling up a bunch of aluminum foil and covering it with polymer clay. I also took some wire and twisted that into the shape of the arms. Next, I sculpted a giant tongue and anchored that down into the mouth right into place. I want to make sure that Muck looks like he's made out of a liquid, so I added in a bunch of ripples and waves that are dripping down from his head and flowing down his body. After that, I inserted a couple more wires and started building up the structure of the hand. I made a bunch of little fingers and also added in some more clay onto the arm. That way, it makes it look a little bit more dynamic, like he's dripping liquid as he's reaching forward. I made sure to repeat the process for the other hand, and once that was complete, it was time to start sculpting the face. Using a ballpoint stylus, I carved out a couple indentations and inserted the eyes into the socket. I also added the eyelids on top to hold everything together, and especially to make it look as if the eyes are floating and bubbling up through the top of his head. Finally, I added some texture to the tongue. At this point, I'm definitely happy with how the sculpt has turned out, so it's time to heat up the oven and bake the entire sculpture for 45 minutes. In terms of color, I started off with some purple acrylic paint for the base coat. It took 3 layers to get an even coating, and yes, while he does look like Grimace from McDonald's right now, I'm gonna make sure to add lots of different shades and shadows to help bring out all the details. I made sure to mix up a lavender color for the tongue and blended in some shading to give the mouth a bit more depth. After that was dry, I painted on some watered down green and added some contrast. Next, I applied a glossy black paint onto the eyes. However, I totally overdid the paint job with the green. But the good thing with acrylic is that even if you mess up, you can just paint over it, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. So, I took some iridescent purple and used that to blend everything together. It also helps make Muck look like he's formed straight out of an oil spill, which works absolutely perfect. I touched up the tongue with one more layer of paint, then moved on to the slime. I mixed up a few drops of paint into some clear craft glue and applied that over the entire surface. I cut several pieces of thread and attached them vertically to the top and bottom parts of the jaw. This allows me to add some extra slime directly onto the string, making it look like the slime is stretching as Muck opens his mouth. I also went back in and applied one more layer of brighter colored slime just to add some extra contrast and boost those highlights. After all that, this realistic Pokemon Muck sculpture is complete. All that's left to do is sit back and enjoy the final result.